and this one right here. What do you think of this? What do you think of James Harden considering a return to the Rockets? I'll fill you in with the details that I'm aware of, but unless you're not aware of this detail.
They asked him about it yesterday. I don't think that was very appropriate, but
yeah, that was weird. That was
unprofessional.
From a journalist standpoint, I wouldn't ask that, especially on Christmas or whatever.
Yeah, on Christmas is wait a day.
Wait a day, dude. Literally, wait a day. Wait a day. I agree. Like, treat someone like human, like a fucking human. You know what I mean? Like, wait a fucking day.
Yeah.
But okay, but though the response he gave was also not. Well, he didn't shut it down.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, he was too busy shutting down the reporter.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, okay, from the details I know, okay, first off, if the Rockets have $30 million in cap space, if they waive Eric Gordon or trade him, they'll have like 50.9.
Yeah, he's done this year.
So, and James Harden, I personally, in my belief, James Harden gives it one more year, so he does 3 years in 2 full seasons and half a season. So he gives them one more year. I think that's what James Harden would do. But in like 2 years, it just fits. And the reason why Harden would want to do this is, look, if Harden gave it his all and just realizes not going to win a championship with the Sixers after this season and next season, Jabari Smith, Jalen Green, Alperen Şengün are solid 3 guys, and they could have another top pick this year, and they still have Kevin Porter Jr., Ty Washington, Josh Christopher, Usman Garuba. You throw in James Harden in the mix, that team's at least even next season. Even next season. You throw James Harden on that team, they're at least a playing team. And James Harden maybe at this point knows his jersey's already getting retired by the Rockets, but maybe he feels like, hey, I'd rather just be known as the greatest Rockets player of all time than just finish my career with the Rockets and like just get all the records. And like he knows the owner, he likes Houston's his city.
Yeah,
it's like how John Wall says he'll still go back to the Wizards because like Washington's his city.
Yeah, I think there's a couple contingencies. I think Houston does have to be in playoff contention. I don't think Harden.
I don't know if they got Victor Wembanyama or Scoot Henderson. I think there's no questions asked. James Harden's going.
We'll see. I wouldn't even be surprised if Houston, if they were to fall to between 3 and 5, I wouldn't be surprised if they used it to trade for a star.
I mean, Anthony Black, dude, don't count him out.
I'm not saying they should.
I put out a mock draft. Go check out my mock draft.
I'm just saying I wouldn't take it out of the equation if they like what they have and they decide to just make that push now. But yeah, Kevin's not the point guard of the Rockets. I'm not opposed to James Harden making a comeback, but I like where his usage is at in the last 2 seasons. It's kind of like his first 2 years in Houston. I think a point guard would be very valuable to us. I do get a little concerned with ball movement and if that would hinder Jalen Green. So I'm still going. I actually don't really want Vic because I like LB. So I'm kind of hoping for Scoot. I'm hoping we get Scoot. But I'm not opposed to a James Harden reunion. I just think there's some factors that need to come into it. I actually like James Harden more as the 6th man utility guy off the bench when he's 35 in 2 years, and it'll be the last big contract he gets, big-ish.
Yeah, no, I mean that makes sense. It's a reasonable, and like I just think one more year and then he would go back. I just don't think it'd be after this season. I think it's one more year. I think it would be in 2024 he would go back.
Yeah, and that's where we got to take a look at where the Rockets are. Do the Rockets have a point guard yet? Who's on our team? What's James Harden looking like?
This is my thought. The only way I saw if he went this season was if the Rockets somehow won the lottery and they got Victor Wembanyama. Then James Harden would be like.
I just don't know how we would get him then.
Because you would have $50 million in cap space. He would because he's a player option.
Is he on a player?
Yeah, he's on a player, so he can go into free agency this offseason. So my thought is that the only way he comes this season if they get Victor Wembanyama or Scoot Henderson, and he's like really enticed and like things go really bad in Philadelphia. My most likely is if they go in 2024 and they don't get Scoot and Vic, but they get someone like Anthony Black or like Cam Whitmore or somebody who ends up being also really good, and then he's enticed in 2024.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Now